Hello everyone, how are you doing? I hope everyone is doing good. So welcome to another video of plant, water and relation. In this video, we will be talking about the translocation of food. It can happen in the vertical manner or lateral manner, okay? And we will begin with transpiration in detail. We will see the different types. Two types we will cover in this video, that is cuticular and lenticular. So let's begin the transport of food. Uh, we up till now we were talking about xylem. That was transport of water. That is the sap, ascent of sap. Now we will be talking about transport of food. So the tissues, the conducting tissue which is responsible for transport of food is phloem. Is what? Phloem. Okay. You should be aware of the different parts of the phloem. This we have you have studied in 11th standard and also in school. The structure of the phloem tissue. Okay, the complex tissue you have studied in 10th standard. What a companion cell, what are the functions? So that you should be knowing. If you are not aware of it, you have certain loopholes. So please visit your lower standard textbook and get those things cleared. In your textbook, at this level, you just have a very short topic on transport of food. Okay, so what is this basically? All plants require supply of food for nutrition and development. Yes, so that's one of the basic necessities of any living organism. Okay, and we are all aware that a plant perform photosynthesis, and chloroplasts are the important organelles which are present in the leaf. Okay, in the green parts. So leaves are green because of the chloroplast where food is synthesized through process of photosynthesis. And the non-green plants, parts of the roots like the stem, the branches, they will receive food from the chloroplast. So chloroplast will make the food and it will transport it to different parts of the body. The non-green parts of the body who do not make the food are not able to make food because of lack of chlorophyll. So they will receive food from the chloroplast, basically from the leaves. Okay, so translocation again has to take place of food also. So how this transportation takes place? Wherever the food is being made, let's say the kitchen area, is known as the source. Okay, the kitchen or the wherever the manufacturing or whenever the production of food is happening, synthesis source. Let's say the leaves. So this is the part of the leaf. Sugar is being made. Okay, and wherever it is utilized, so from here it is made, then can you see the arrows moving to the companion cells? This is the sucrose, these dotted molecules, this is the sugar, this is the food. And then leaves are on top, they will move downwards laterally, vertically, laterally, and distribute it to different parts of the body. You can see over here. Okay, let's say here is root also require, root will require food. Root is sending water to different parts of the body. It will require food also not to carry out these work energy. So the food will transport in downward direction via phloem. So if you can see this, so wherever it is utilized, it can be root, it can be some other part. So that region we will call it as sink. Source, food is made. Sink, food is utilized, or you can say food is eaten in simple manner. Right? So food has to travel from the source to the sink, and this movement from one part to the another part is known as translocation of food. Okay, so two keywords, source and sink. Food synthesized at the source, and wherever it is utilized, sink. So the food will move from the source to the sink for so this is known as translocation or transportation of food. Now it can happen in two ways, either vertical or lateral, like laterally. So vertical is very simple, as you can see in the figure. Food is translocated in the downward direction from the leaves to the stem and root. So leaves are topmost position, are at the topmost position. Then the stem comes and the root comes. So wherever it is required, so they will go in downward direction. Also occurs in upward direction also. ऐसा नहीं कि it's downward, upward also, where the new cells, young cells, buds, flowering is happening. germination is happening, bulbs are getting converted into flowers. So there also it will, you know, be translocated. So it will be in both upward and downward direction, not only solely downward direction. Okay, also occurs from the leaves, upward translocation from the leaves to the growing point of the stem to developing flowers, fruits situated near ends of branches of stem. So as we mentioned, upward and downward both. Here the picture is telling you about the downward translocation. It can happen in opposite direction as well. Basically, wherever the nutrition is required, so from the leaves, that is the source, to the sink. The sink can either be downward located or upward located, like developing flowers. Flowers are located at the top. Okay, germinate bulbs are located mostly at the top. So there, upward direction, upward translocation, vertical translocation of food will take place. Then laterally, if you can see, like the tissues are placed like this. So vertical, upward or downward. Now like this, horizontally, laterally. So you have different layers of tissues, different conducting vessels. As you can see over here, at the outermost you have the epidermis, then in between cortex, then the middle region is the pith region. These are different tissues. Then you have the xylem over here, then you have the phloem, you have the cambium tissue in between these conducting vessels, xylem and the phloem, and in between you have cambium tissue. So you have these lateral compartments. So food will also be traveled laterally also, as and when required. Okay. So lateral location occurs in the root and stem. So root and stem, they will show lateral location. So when the food is translocated from the phloem to the pith in the radical diameter direction. Okay, like you have this radical translocation, tangential, for example, you have this circle. Okay, so you have one layer of cells, then the another tissue, then the another tissue, and the another tissue, and the movement is from this, like this. Okay, let's say here is the phloem and here is the central part. So the food will transport like this from this direction to this direction. So let's say from the phloem to the pith. Now where is the pith? Central part. Where is the phloem? Here, this part. So how is the translocation going to take place? From here to here. So laterally, tangential. Okay. So from, or another is from phloem to the cortex. Let's say from phloem to this region, like the cortical region. So this is lateral movement of the food molecules. Okay, so this is also another method of transporting food. So through phloem is bidirectional. Okay, that is upward and downward and sidewise also, like this and this, left to right or right to left. So that is what we mean by bidirectional. Okay, you can have a look at this picture also, showing you a better diagrammatic view. The seed tube, where is the seed tube? Then the lateral sieve. They have these laterally also there are pores. Sieve are basically pores, okay, which will help in transportation of the food molecules. So vertically also and laterally also, because bidirectional translocation of food takes place in phloem. Okay, this is another picture, summary type. You can have a clear look, and just this is for the revision or summary purpose. Number one, number two, number three, four, five, whatever we have discussed up till now. So in a summary format, you can pause the video and read it nicely for consolidating your concept on translocation. Yes. And now we move to the transpiration, and we will cover the two types of transpiration in this video. Okay, so time and again we have been discussing transpiration, loss of water in the form of water vapor through leaves. Up till now we have been discussing through leaves only, but it happens through stem also, through flowers also, through fruits also. Okay, so transpiration, loss of water can take place to any part of the plant, especially mostly 90% takes place from leaves. See, most of the transpiration occurs through leaves. What is the terminology? Foliar or foliar transpiration. Okay, so the actual water loss during this transpiration occurs through three main sites. So this, because of this transpiration, three types of transpiration are main transpiration, which is foliar transpiration. Number one is cuticle. Second is stomata. Third is lenticels. If you have a look at this leaf structure, just take this part and just consider this. This is, let's say, this part, and just see the layers of it. So the very first layer, upper layer, which is known as the cuticle, upper epidermis, then comes the chloroplast, then comes the mesophyll cells, then the lower epidermis, and then you have the stomata over here. Okay, so first we'll do the cuticle and the lenticels. So the first type of water loss because of the cuticle. What is cuticle? The layer of waxy substance which is present on the outer surface of the epidermal cells of the leaves and the stem. So this is the outermost layer. Let's say you have the epidermis and you have a waxy coating onto it. This is your epidermis. You have a waxy coating on this. This waxy coating is known as cuticle. What it is known as? Cuticle. Now you might be wondering, though it is a waxy coating, then how come water is lost? Because usually wax does not allow escape of this water. But yes, in plants it does happens. The composition of wax is not that of the synthetic wax. A sticky, slimy substance is present on the outer surface of the leaves and the stem, which does no which allows which through which water can pass through it. So though not most of the water is lost through this, only 8 to 10% of transpiration happens because of cuticular transpiration. Okay, it happens throughout the day, and its rate is inversely proportional to thickness of cuticle. Inversely proportional to thickness of cuticle means transpiration is inversely proportional to thickness of cuticle. So more the thickness, less the transpiration. More the thickness, the waxy coating is thick, transpiration will happen less. That is how inverse relation works. Thinner is the coating of the waxy layer, more will be the transpiration. So thicker the coating of the waxy layer of the cuticle, transpiration will be very, very, very less. So it happens throughout the day during daytime, and the rate is inversely proportional to thickness of the cuticle. Simple to understand now. Okay. Earlier, these new terms and new words uh, makes us a bit scary about so many concepts coming ahead, but this is now, I think, simpler to understand. So a waxy layer present on the surface of the leaf is the cuticle. Okay. And finally, the lenticular transpiration. These are small raised structures composed of loosely arranged complementary cells. As you can see over here, this plant, small raised structures, kind of pores or opening kind of. Okay. Yes. Porous tissue. It is mostly, sorry, this should be T, not D. L, sorry. Lenticels is a porous tissue consisting of cells with large intercellular spaces in the periderm of the secondary thickened organs. Okay. So in the periderm layer of the uh, bark of the tree, okay, secondary thickened organs which are almost developed, okay, matured enough, bark of the woody stem, and roots of the dicotyledonous flowering plant. So this point is telling you where are these lenticels present. So they are present in the spaces of the intercellular spaces of the periderm, thickened organs, secondary thickened organs, bark of woody stems, roots of dicot flowering plants. They are present in all these structures. They are like pores opening, raised structures. Okay, mostly they are present in the bark of the old stem and the pericarp of woody fruits. That's the outer covering. They are usually absent in leaves. Okay, and very less, 0.1 to 1%. 0.1 is almost negligible. So total transpiration that takes place through lenticels, just small raised structures, loosely arranged cells, is hardly 0.1 to 1%. Okay. So that's all about cuticular and lenticular transpiration. In the next video, we will be talking about very important topic out of the types of transpiration, that is stomatal transpiration. Very important and the last topic of this chapter. So we'll be covering everything related to stomata, guard cells, and transpiration, structure, function, and significance of transpiration. So that's all for this video. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye. See you in the next video.